Hey, this is Isoko here, playing Dawngate as my character Iosan. I'm playing Raina. Like, I think she gets absolutely zero love, so I thought I'd make a little video playing Raina. So before we start, we actually do lose this game, but it was such a great match that I thought I would post it anyway. So I have a very special DPS Raina loadout, as I like to call it. That is not it, but in it I do use like hoplite or hoplite or whatever you want to call it, that gives you 12% power for however how much your armor is. So like I said, it was a really great match. We looked like we had a pretty decent team, although we may have had too much support. I'm a support character, and I don't know, the blood lady, I can't think of her name, V something, is also a support. So we may have had a little too much support to start with, but it worked out okay. So basically they're like, yeah, go bot. I'm like, okay. In the beginning, I always take her very last spell, the E, and I always wait to kind of pick a spell to figure out, exactly how the beginning is going to go, depending on really who we're matched up with. So you'll see me choose, I think, Bastion later on. So at this point we're just pretty much trading hits. It's your very standard start to any
minions have spawned.
Beginning lanes or whatnot. So I'm like losing a lot of health, and I'm like, oh crap. But the tide quickly changes. You'll see in a minute. I really hate the fact that, we have this third guy down there. He's actually supposed to be the jungler, which makes it even worse. So, great job. But he is one of the people that DC, so I suppose that works out in the end. But yeah, like I said, the tide quickly changes, and I get, a great kill. I've got another guy chasing me down and an ally that kills him, so fantastic. I get to stay in lane instead of porting back.
Redeploying. Put that on my tab.
So I guess at this point I'm like level 4. The skill order that I always choose is E, which is your shockwave, and then the very next skill that I take is always repelling strike. I really find that at the very low levels, like 1 through 3, having the repelling strike second over your Bastion of the North gives you a little bit more like attack and stuff like that. So I really like it, to hit them with the repelling strike and push them with the Bastion. And then I go for the shield as we start getting to the point where I'll need additional protection, and so will my allies. But being Raina, you have great health. You start off with decent armor and whatnot, so don't really be afraid to go in there and smack the enemy and whatnot. So I love trading hits, especially with like casters. The particular caster that we are playing against, she's very good in terms of carry. you know, I've definitely, you know, seen games playing against her where she, you know, has like 15 odd kills and stuff like that, and yeah, it gets ridiculous. So yeah, I tower dived, and yes, I survived, which I can't say, you know, happens often, but so my first skill that I always try and push for is prosperity. It's 400 health, 20 armor, 15 magic resist. You know, and then the passive is, you know, you gain 20 health, 2.5 armor, and 1.5 magic resist. Like every minute, you know, with stacks up to 10. So it's absolutely fantastic. So we're back in lane, trading hits.
An ally has been slain.
Keep moving.
We're mostly, you know, trading hits. Mara can be a little bit difficult, as she is sort of that bit more of a tanky bruiser or whatnot. But in terms of Michaela, yeah. I pretty much just go in and, you know, slap her around a little bit.
That looks good.
So at this point, our Volek has DC'd, although he probably DC'd a couple of minutes ago. It's still very much a viable game. So at this point, we're definitely being pushed back, and Mara pops her ult, and yeah, it's best just to give her a little bit of space, kind of wait for the timing on it to go down. Although I will say, like a lot of the characters that I've played against, especially Volek, like when he pops his ult, he's kind of like, you know, I've gone into God mode. There is absolutely nothing more satisfying than saving your ult, which is a stun for Volek. So he pops his ult, he's like, I've gone into God mode, I'm gonna wipe out your team, and then it's like stun, and he's like, oh fuck. And then your team just absolutely destroys him, so it's pretty cool. Her stun is extremely important in team fights. So you'll find out later that even though I'm in the front lines, kind of having everybody to try and attack me, you know, that stun really comes in handy. So the next thing that I really try and push for is rampancy. And that just really gives me 800 health, but what it does is that I gain bonus power equal to 1% of my health. So I go ahead and get that because, you know, as I keep leveling, I keep stacking health, and, you know, so by the end of it, you know, I've got like 4,500 plus health. And so it really helps out with my, you know, DPS Raina build. So I do like hiding in the brush and, you know, attacking. She, you know, kind of puts that little coin out there, and I guess she, I mean, it's definitely just to see you, but, you know, at this point, a level 11, you know, depending on, you know, the items and the build that you have, you know, she stops doing a decent amount of damage to you. But you know, trust me, as she gets her items, it'll scale against you very well. So I do try and keep an eye on the top. We definitely seem to be losing, you know, a whole lot of ground up there, but I kind of have my hands full down here. So like I said, you know, there we go. That I do kind of just like to knock her around. For my second spell, I typically take Drain, and I really only take that as a means of additional DPS. It also helps, you know, to the fact that you do get back some to life. So it's definitely got dual purposes. Mars popped her ult. You'll see that, you know, I'll back up because I don't really have my glory yet, but as soon as it's over, I go ahead and, you know, charge and hit her and, you know, push her back a little bit.
Your binding has been destroyed.
Definitely, I would say with Raina, you need to make sure that you do have a strong DPS in your lane, and preferably one that you know, kind of knows what he's doing. So definitely give a hats off to my lane partner, who's doing an excellent job, and you'll see at the end, you know, he racks up a whole lot of kills, and you know, he does a really smart job staying behind me, and for the most part I do try and protect him. That is definitely one of your jobs as a tank, is to try and go ahead and you know, protect him or whatnot the best you can. You see, I took I can't even think of the chick's name. Dang, what's that chick's name? Anyway, Michaela, there we go. Right, so you see that I took Michaela's ult because it kept my teammate alive. I do end up, you know, dying eventually, but that's all good. Like I said, the next thing that I do take is rampancy, and you know, after that it's just mostly what's available. But after rampancy, I really like to take glory to go ahead and push my DPS in the beginning, so that as I stack the last, you know, couple of items, I pretty much, you know, end up with a full build, and you know, it becomes very difficult. You see right there, we had an awesome stun, and you know, my team was able to go ahead and you know, take out the Finmore. I absolutely hate Finmore. His regeneration is just nuts. But I've gone back down to bottom lane to help keep an eye on things. One other thing I really would be cool is if she had sort of like a the sight thing that Zalgas has. That would be like absolutely perfect, but you know, she might be a little OP at that point. So yeah, you know, we get a little help from up top, but I mean, you know, that's cool. So now there's like 4 of us down there, and we gotta like rush to the top. However, you know, there's a Finmore coming up the bottom lane, and me and swear.
An ally has been slain. Your binding is under attack.
So she's definitely holding her own down there, which is absolutely, you know, fantastic. fuck's name? Oh, Beyond. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there goes that Finmore again. Oh, there we go. Great stun. We were able to take out the Finmore. He's, you know, trying to run. But like I said, I really do hate that Finmore, so I will very often go ahead and try and take him out. And so I end up taking that, typing out that message to the team to make sure that they are always taking down that Finmore. Oh, right. So here, Spirit Will is under attack. This is a really great fight. I really have to focus on Michaela so I can now try and take down the other person. I've got a quarter health. I don't really think it's going to happen. And yes, allies show up and save the day. So that was absolutely great teamwork. And we end up, you know, coming through, and I do almost end up dying. I don't really know why you know, decided to go back out and help. You know, I was like, yes, I survived like 1/10 of my health. Let's keep fighting. And then, you know, yeah, that wasn't terribly smart. But I do survive the fight, so it works out in the end. Let's see. At this point, I'm usually trying to figure out what I should go for next. Between Finmore, Michaela,
Your binding has been destroyed.
but is that a Kendra? Kendra, no.
A good spot.
I don't know. Anyway, I decide to go for, you know, strong magic resist.
Maybe there.
Your spirit well is under attack.
So like I said, I really love getting glory on Raina. It's definitely what I consider one of my main items to get. Especially, you know, when I'm playing, you know, DPS Raina. You can play full support Raina, where you really truly stack a lot of armor and magic resist, and you know, you're not so much focused on your DPS or whatnot. But that tends to be kind of boring, so if I play Raina, I do tend to play what I call DPS Raina. So at this point, I've got 5 kills, which isn't bad for a tank, especially one who isn't really, you know, DPS. Looks like the next thing I'm going for is Rebirth.
That looks good. A moment.
I will definitely say that I think in any build that you play Raina, that Rebirth is extremely important. When you drop below 30% health, you get a surge with Life Force, recovering 30% of your maximum HP over 5 seconds, and it has a 2-minute cooldown. So you can see another great stun. We take out Mora, you know, and then you stay right on top of them. You take down the Finmore, you use Drain, and there we go. Now, I kind of keep going. I mean, I've got health. My allies are still up. You know, they're running and coming back and running. And I decide that I want to kill the other chick. And so we almost got her, and I almost died to a tower, and she bubbles, and I have to bubble from another tower, and I think she's going to chase me around the corner. So I waited in the grass to hit her again to kill her, but I don't see her, so you know, I just port back. But in the meantime, my allies have, you know, taken out 2 towers, and, you know, I signaled, let's take down the parasite. You know, there's still 4 of us up at this point. So we hit the parasite, and I'm thinking, you know, this is going to be great. I think signaling is like very important in a game. Like, a lot of people don't signal, but knowing, you know, that your ally is coming down, that they're coming here, I really think it changes, you know, potentially how you set up. So I used to play WoW. I've raided for many years. So when you see people fighting the parasite, they don't move. They really stand in that stuff, and they're trying to figure out, you know, why they're such low health and things like that. At the end, move. Like, I don't really, yeah, just move. Again, people are truly special. I never really saw the purpose of that, the 2-second, like where it freezes you for like 2 seconds. I never really saw the point of that. I think the Finmore, do I catch him? It's pretty close. Nope, looks like he gets away. That's why I hate Finmore. Absolutely way too much health regen. But that's a different story. What I was saying, right, the parasite, when you kill the parasite, move. They've got the little icons on the ground. Move. I mean, it's not that complicated, but you see a lot of people standing there, and I can definitely tell you, you know, they would have not lasted, you know, like a day in a serious raiding guild standing in stuff. Yeah, you definitely get yelled at and kicked out of raid for standing in, you know, stupid stuff. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. Different game.
Has been slain.
You know, really at this point,
I'll head that way.
we're doing really well. You know, we're like, oh snap, you know, we have a chance to really turn this game around. We are just like owning, you know, the opposing team. You know, it's really hard for them to do and focus on the other DPS on our team, especially when I am constantly in their face. And so that's the really great thing about being Raina, is that with a high health, high magic resist, and armor resist, you are constantly in the character or the enemy's face, and you know, they have a really hard time dealing with others. So here we go, right again. You know, she kind of wastes her ult. It doesn't really do anything to me, you know, whatsoever. But you know, we do focus on the tower, and then obviously once the tower is dead, we can go ahead and get the rest of it. Yeah, so I do get greedy and try and kill her, and end up being caught by a guardian flame or whatnot. So that kind of leaves Vivian to kind of run for her life. So yeah, sorry.
Maybe there. Remove it from our sight.
Oh, looks like I chose Faith. That's typically not part of my build unless I need more magic resist. Typically I would go Devotion, so that it gives me and my allies additional, you know, 20 armor, 15 magic resist, as well as the 300 health and 15 armor. But you know, as you can see, I do switch out Devotion for Faith this time. So it's always great to have, you know, a couple of
A good spot.
backups, if you will. So Faith gives me a shielding that absorbs 25 magical damage, which again is really great with all these magic users. So again, she kind of does the 2-second stun thing, or stasis. At this point, we have lost
Your binding is under attack.
another. Oh, looks like we lost Vivian, and so now it's 3v4, and So it definitely makes the game a lot harder. And in order for us to be able to win this game, we need to kill the parasite again. Parasite's way too long to spell, so I usually just call him a bug. So yeah, there goes the Fenmore again, and he just pretty much gets melted. And so, you know, we try and shoot for the bug, or parasite rather, but you know, by this point the enemy team kind of knows that we're always trying to kill the parasite, and you know, they pretty much chase us off. There's really nothing that, you know, we can kind of do with a 3v4. But like I said, it still turns out to be an absolutely fantastic match, and they're killing him. And you know, my hope was that I could steal the parasite, but it doesn't quite work out that way. But I think it is absolutely awesome when you know, there's just two of us, and we pretty much wipe out their entire team, which doesn't do us any good since the parasite's dead. But
Seems wise.
two of us, you know. Yeah, so.
Your spirit well is under
So,
attack.
yeah, at this point, you know, you can see me typing. I'm a little frustrated that, you know, the three of us are still doing, like, really well. You know, we were able to kill them, but without at least another fourth person, you know, we're kind of in an uphill battle. So.
You have slain an enemy. Your spirit well is under attack.
A moment. No pressure. Redeploying.
So pretty much by now, you know, you can kind of see that the game is for the most part over. You know, they've pushed towers all the way to the back, but it is a whole lot of fun, you know, still, you know, killing a few of them. Again, the Fenmore, I end up picking up a couple more assists throughout most of the game. But, you know, the point really was to show that, you know, Raina is definitely really cool character to play. And she gets absolutely, like, no love. I have, most of the time, she's actually not played in most matches. So, like I said, I really wanted to make this guide to show that she's a great character to play, that, you know, as a tank, you know, your team can, you know, really depend on her. She's got, you know, like I said, high health, high magic resistant armor if you build her correctly. And she takes a lot of hits, she takes a lot of damage, and that if played correctly, she can protect your team and also, you know, really distract the opposing team and let your DPS just go nuts. I will say that, you know, great, you know, again, this was a great team. They were amazing at single targeting. It's pretty rare for a pug. Usually they're kind of all over the place. So, yeah, like I said, it was a great team.
Spirit well.
Keep your guard.
Yeah, I still hate that.
Spirit well is under attack.
But yeah, so like I said, at this point we're kind of running back and forth. It's clearly over.
Your spirit well is under attack. The enemy captured your spirit well.
So, yeah, like I said in the beginning, we did lose, but it was a great game. if we really only had one more person, you know, it probably would have completely changed the tide of battle. So
Enemy killing spree. Kill more quickly.
I will say that I don't really know what most people do, but in most games I just sort of give, you know, karma all the way down. Unless, you know, the person wasn't here, and I totally missed that the juggler guy wasn't here. So, like I said, you can see, you know, the guy had like 15 kills or whatnot. So they did a great job. And for once, you know, we got really high blessings or whatnot. I will say that I've noticed that when you lose, you get a ridiculous amount of blessings versus when you lose, you get like 50. And so, yeah, awful discrepancy, but I suppose they are fixing that. So, thank you so much for watching my Dawngate Raina guide, or rather commentary. So have fun and play Raina, but not when I want to play Raina. Later.